because I've been talking to Sam and producer Bullish in the background last 10, 15 minutes, and the future's so bright. And, I described it when we were talking. Damn it, I do this every freaking time.
You're not live yet?
No, I had to close my YouTube browser because I do that every time. Sorry, guys. I had to find my YouTube browser. Oh my God, I'm not live? No, I had to close my YouTube browser. Sorry, guys.
You're not live yet.
You're not live. You're not live.
Swear to God, I'm not live right now.
You're also muted.
Okay. I could hear myself in the background. Why though?
Well, you went live for a second, then you're not live now. So just go live and just redo it.
How do you go live and come back unlive?
I think I know what it is.
Wait a moment and then try again.
Hold on.
Error occurred. I got it. What's up, guys? It's your boy, GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning, and I'm having an absolutely dopaminergic butterfly feeling in my stomach at the moment because I was just talking to Sam and Bullish in the background, and the future is absolutely limitless with potential, and not just potential for money, guys. Of course, that's going to come with the territory, baby. But that's not the point. The way I described to them, I said, guys, I can't wait to have so much fun moving forward. It came out of my mouth without even I was like, the future is going to be so fun. I have guys I can trust. I got guys on my team. Wait, did I go live for a second? Oh my God, dude. I went live, bro. God damn it. Guys, how did I go live and then come back on? Now you guys know my whole shtick. God damn it. Guys, it's your boy GRC. I can't screw up because I'm so freaking adorable, guys. How's everyone doing? It's your boy GRC. Let's pump it up! Ah!
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
First time we ever had 50 viewers before the song was over.
Yes. Congrats to you guys. This is awesome. We were having a blast doing this. We were also having a blast with the finish challenge.
Who are you? Who are you? This is my co-host and one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Sam Stolt, someone I met many, many years ago. He helped me through some really hard times, and now we join to defeat the furus of crypto and to learn at a rate so accelerated that we can arbitrage every opportunity known to man.
Wow. Did you see that opportunity with Hedron, Maxi, and Hex? I know we'll get into it a little bit later, but that was exciting looking at the data and seeing the opportunities that are available. Because when you think about legacy finance, those opportunities are not there, and they're all over the place in crypto. There's so much free money to be had all over the place. And I'm
What is free money, Sam? Let's talk about your definition, and then I'll say my definition. What does free money mean to you? Because it's different to everyone, right? Like free money could be picking something up off the ground, or free money could be working for an hour to do something with no overhead where you earn money, right? So what is free money in crypto? And tell everyone a little bit about your background and why you love to talk about ARB so much and why you love to look at those opportunities that people don't love to dig into.
So when I was younger, the whole reason I studied finance and accounting is because I liked money. And so I went and got an MBA from like a top 25 school in the world, studying finance and accounting because I wanted to run a hedge fund. I wanted to open a hedge fund and run a PE firm, right? Buy companies and make them better and then turn around, right? Or find these opportunities in the marketplace where you have a digital asset selling here for this price. And in this marketplace, it's selling at a higher price. So you just buy this shit until the price matches here and you sell it over here. And you just keep doing those transactions back and forth to make money. So that's why I got my CFA, because I wanted to do this stuff. Like this is all I wanted to do. And then I'm making content around it because in the crypto space, it's so exciting.
In your hindbrain, when you were getting your studies, when you were doing your studies, okay? In your hindbrain, you were thinking, maybe I'm a little bit quicker than some people in this area. Maybe I can find some. I'm sure you were thinking like this. Maybe I can see some of these opportunities because we all know in legacy finance, I didn't really know this until Sam kind of taught me, but like now that I see it all in legacy finance, it's just the same thing. There's just arbitrage opportunity everywhere, but who gets to figure it out? Who gets to click the button first? Why? People think it's a special person. But really, and what we're trying to get at here is I don't do any of this shit, by the way. I've never done it. Sam, clearly by his intro that he just said, something he's very interested in general. Whether it was money-making or not for him, he would probably still look into it if he wasn't going to do it. Be careful. Sam is kind of the feds. But anyway, so Sam, they have opportunities here. What do they look like? And then let's talk about the one that's the biggest in my opportunity that we kind of have been talking about over the last year.
Let's explain what an ARB is, because I don't think a lot of people have a good understanding, right? They hear people say the word ARB, arbitrage, arbitreur, right? But they don't really have a good understanding of what that actually means. So let's go through an example. If you have, say, fruit, you have apple and orange and banana. And they all trade 1 for 1 for 1, meaning one apple gives you one orange. If you have one orange, you can trade it for a banana. And then you can take one banana and get one apple. So there's no circumstance where you can take 3 apples into the system and come out with 5 apples or 5 bananas or 5 oranges, because they're all trading 1 for 1 for 1. In legacy world, there's opportunities like this where you can trade around and you extract value because there's mispricing in the market. There's something selling for $6 here. You go over to this area and it's selling for $8. I'll buy it for $6 and sell it for $8 and just make that $2. And
right,
that is what happens in
that's
crypto.
what people don't understand, though. When you have economic mass and a brain that works absolutely functionally, you can. This is mathematics. It's not. You know what I mean? So when I talk about, because I told everyone, or I told you, I mean, I purchased Maxi on the market this morning, okay, for the first time. It wasn't a lot, so I don't give a shit. So, but I doubled my bag of Maxi, roughly, which I was just a little bit in, like just playing around, right? But once I learned about the value prop of Maxi and I kept getting that more in-depth information, I realized something insane. Right. And I think a couple other smart guys realize these things over time. Some of them, with the guys with the $100 million, generally keep them to themselves. But I don't have any of that kind of dough. So I don't
have it either. So I will share what they're doing, what they're thinking about.
Whatever. So what Sam's talking about, and I'm going to pull this up real quick. What do we got here, Sam?
This is Dex Scanner. So this is Hex and Maxi. So this is Maxi's price as a relation to Hex. So this would be parity right here, 1 for 1, meaning 1 Maxi equals 1 Hex. Because if you think about it, when you put in 10,000 Hex, you got 10,000 Maxi. So this is where like it would trade if they were like holding steady. But what the market is starting to realize, hopefully you would think, right? It's not always.
I want you to correct that statement. I would like you to correct that statement. Nobody's
hopefully they don't realize this.
Nobody's realizing this tip, but the market is new. This is a fresh market, guys. This is going to be decisions made that people wish they didn't make in the future. So understand there's opportunity there. Just how many times have you said, "Oh man, I wish I didn't trade some of that away back in the day"? When they did that trade, there was kinetic energy opportunity there. It's just unknown. What we're doing is we're trying to put ourselves in the position where we can kind of think here, and Maxi's the perfect thing to do it. Why? Because it's a derivative play, right? Like we already see the value. We already see that Hedron in that 10x, in that 10%, 150 million bigger pays better bonus attached to that. So that is real value. Okay. That exists. And it traded 1 for 1, right?
Exactly. It traded 1 for 1 yesterday. It's traded less than 1 for 1 actually this morning, which allowed you to actually get basically just free money. If you guys ever see, if you look up DexCam and then you put this into prices relative to Hex for Maxi, you get, if it ever drops below the 1 for 1 price, or even if it's at 1 for 1, that's a discount. That is a discount because Maxi represents more than Hex.
Yeah, but also people, Sam, don't like the third-party contract risk. So that to them, that's a negative. Okay. So like when you're talking about value, if there's contract risk associated, I know Gold Key and Dip Catcher very well. There's less contract risk to me theoretically than there is to someone who has no idea who those people are. Like
they did get
with Dip Catcher, and he's the nicest guy. You know what I mean. So
they did get an audit, and they also took the attack surface of the contract to try to minimize it. That's why there's not a lot of other things going on with this contract, because when you have the contract, the more complex it is, the more attack surface it is to destroy it or like extract value or compromise it, right? So this contract represents more than Hex. Hex is just Hex. When you think about Maxi is Hex, it is Hedron, it is reduced fees, and one other thing, it is so you also have like the Max.
No, there's no. I'll tell you the last part. I'll tell you the last part because it's my favorite part. It's tradable. There's no contract stuck in. I had an account with 10 T-shares that was 100% wiped out. Ended stake. Not that it was that much at the time. It really wasn't. But I didn't know what I was doing when I created my first account because I was so new to crypto. I was telling the guys before, I had no idea about smart contracts. I had no idea about code. Literally, you couldn't have known less than I knew at the time. I was thinking about sticking my willy around. That was all I was worried about. And so it was crazy when I learned, hey, you can have the actual value of a 555 max, which I could never have on my own. I'll never have 150 million Hex probably.
Or not right now.
And you can trade it to another account if something occurs that's unfavorable, which occurs.
So like think about the value prop here is stupid. If this ever trades anywhere close 1 for 1, you get a discount on Hex. That's how you can think about this, right? You can basically get free money by doing that. And it's going to ebb and flow between those as people who don't know what we're talking about right here sell their shit because the life stuff happens to them. That'll drive this. Let me pull that back up one more time to just show.
And right after he pulls this up, we have a special guest on. I'm going to say his name properly with the 2 L's that are silent because I know Bullish taught me.
Anytime.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Anytime it drops below this value or near this value right here where it's 1 for 1, you get the benefit of bigger pays longer. You get the better of longer pays better. You get the benefit of reduced fees because they're aggregating them together. You get the benefit of the speculation with Hedron, and you get the benefit of the tradability of that. This should never, ever, 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 if it's priced appropriately, trade at 1 for 1 again. But
no,
we'll
you're
see.
100% correct. And the one thing I think will happen, it'll trade less than 1-for-1 at some point. It'll go the reverse way. There is a chart on the Maximus site that goes like this, Sam. There's a constant line straight up at a 45, and it shows the up and down, and it highlights the opportunities along the way. Like, so anyway, blah, 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 blah. Crazy stuff going on, guys. Crypto is the future. If you're not learning about this stuff in here, man, well, you're not manning up, baby. So, guys, we got our friend Progress with Pueo, my man. He's in the house. I met him in the Twitter spaces the other day. He was talking some alpha, and my little alpha radar was going up. I have an alpha radar. Okay. It buzzes, it buzzes, it buzzes. When some people come in the room, it dies like this. It goes, whoa, these guys suck. And when guys like this come in the room, it's like, oh, this is cool. We should talk more. Guys, let's invite him in.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What up, man? How you doing? How do you say your last name there?
So it's pronounced Puello. So it's like it's a Hispanic last name. So the double L is like a Y. Puello.
Yep.
Puello.
Just like
Puello.
And I get Puello, I got Pollo, I've gotten it all. You feel me? I've had this last name my whole life, so it's cool. You guys can whatever makes you guys feel more comfortable. But Puello,
well, you're a good-looking guy. You're young and you love crypto. So what the hell? We're gonna have you on the show. We want to know a little bit about you. I mean, the first thing that's going to stick out is that you're a hair younger than the people I usually have on. Right? I'm usually the youngest guy on the show. Like I don't think I've ever had anyone younger than me on the show other than Bran. So introduce yourself. How did you get mixed up in this whole crypto sphere? Well, you have a YouTube channel too, and I'd love to link it below in a minute.
Cool, thanks, man. But yeah, so my name's Kevin. I'm 24. I actually got involved in the crypto space back in 2017. I had a buddy of mine who introduced me to crypto. He also ended up introducing me to a network marketing company where I began to pursue trading and investing. And so at the time I was working at Apple. I was working in like a what they call like a mentorship position. I was training new hires, working with the business team. So, I had a fairly regular lifestyle up until that point. But when I joined this network marketing company, everything kind of changed because the company was very dynamic. We weren't selling traditional products. We were selling digital services. And so the services were crypto education, Forex education. And 4.5 years later, I pretty much became really proficient because not so much on the selling side. I focused on both. I focused on the business side and on the selling, but I knew that, the skill set I was learning, which was just trading in general, was really helping me out. So 4 years passed by and I kind of let go of the whole network marketing aspect of it, like the business end. And I just focused on trading. And throughout those years, those last couple of years, I want to say it was like maybe like mid 2020 or like early 2020. I found Trevon James, and Trevon, I met him because I got into BitConnect. So I don't know if any of you guys.
Trevon James, for everyone that doesn't know, just remember when we're talking, like me and Sam I know Trevon James for sure. I watch his shit. Yeah. I love his shit. But like Sam, not a clue. Would never.
You don't know Trevon? All right, it's cool. So Trevon, he like back in the day, he used to promote something called BitConnect, right? And I actually found out about it through him. And so I got burned. Everybody got burned. I mean, even him, he was still trying to figure out Bitcoin that he lost from there. And then I ended up seeing him on YouTube after after he came back. And he started talking about Hex. And so if it wasn't for him doing that, I would have never found it out. I would have never found out about it. And, I kind of had like $1,000, $2,000, like really, bro, like petty cash, like just whatever I could save. I put it into a stake Hex back in 2020. And let's just say it's a lot more now. So thankfully, that played out. We're here for the long game. And yeah, that's pretty much my story.
God loves to put people in a position who can handle it, guys. This man put himself in a position where he was young and he was ready to understand some of this info, right? That's the whole thing. It's like, why? Yes, you staked Hex. And I love when people say I staked Hex because that's a snapshot in my head. He was in the position where he was able to think through this concept enough to pay attention. It's a buy wall. I'm
going to tell you something, Jim, right? Like I'm going to be honest. When I put money into it, I was super skeptical. So it went like this. It was either this is a scam and it's not going to work, right? And I don't get into it. This is a scam and it may work, and I'll still get into it. Or this is not a scam and it actually works and I'm going to do it. And I was in between this is a scam and it's not a scam because I was understanding the technology. It wasn't about trusting the code, and that was something I was getting used to. And when I understood it for what it was, I went all in, and that's where I put all my money. Now, it wasn't just that because remember, I was trading. So at the time, thanks to Richard, he actually told us to buy into Hex. I found out about Uniswap because of that. So when Uniswap came out, I got my airdrop on one of the wallets, and then I put in an extra 2,000. into
Backs?
uni. And then
Okay.
yeah, I
Oh
sold that
my
thing at
God.
$40. So I made like 40K just off that one move alone. So I mean, that was the next move that kind of helped me move forward and stuff like that. So it was just, I
And on the
honestly
topic
X
of
helped me
free
get into
money,
the
just so
community.
everyone knows, about 2 years ago, there was a free airdrop for people who had used the Uniswap protocol, right? I all my friends had that airdrop, and at the top it was $40,000. Like roughly at the top, that free
So
airdrop.
how did that work? How did that work? So like Uniswap V3, did they give you a free airdrop?
V2. So if you had used Uniswap at all, like any swap, so if any wallet that you had used Uniswap with was eligible for, I think it was like 400 uni token worth $1,200, $3 like initial price. So every wallet that you ever swapped on got $1,200, and there was people with tens of thousands of dollars because they had multiple wallets and they were using Uniswap V1, then V2. And with V2, a couple months in, they ended up dropping the Uniswap governance token. And yeah, it was actually around the same time, I remember, because they had dropped $1,200 stimulus check during the pandemic. I don't know if you guys remember that. So this was in the US. I mean, if you guys are in the United States. So right around that time is when it came out, and they were comparing the two. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that
Ask
you got
him about
basically
liquid
just free
loans.
money.
He demoed by spreadsheet. Wow. Did you really?
Say it again.
Did you demo liquid loans on a spreadsheet? At some
No,
point?
so they actually, I forgot who it was, but someone, I remember I had DM'd them. I want to definitely give them credit. I think I have it here. They actually sent, I think it was Hexicat.
Yeah, so that's the one who just mentioned you. I like
Yeah, Hexicat. Yeah,
That's
Hexicat
great
was the one-
analysis. Ask him about liquid loans. Wink. He demoed by spreadsheet. Hexicat's always in here, always pushing for LL. And I'm the first one. I'm not skeptical about LL at all. I'm not. I don't know shit about anything. So how could I be skeptical? But I'm skeptical about marketing in general, of course, right? So I have to wait. For me, someone who can't play around with spreadsheets and stuff yet, because I've never done that, I'm waiting for a little bit more specific information that I can just look at while I'm streaming. But I like liquid loans, the passion behind it. The guys are putting their faces out there.
It's a good project, bro. I like the idea that you're collateralizing your own, investment. Like you're not getting it from a pool. But now that's one thing. In theory, it sounds good, but will it work? And so that's what we want to, what we want to see. That's why we're so excited to see the demo or like a test net up so that we can kind of play around with it, like really stress test it, the conversation we've had around fiat these past couple of days have been around stress testing it. The tweet I posted the other day has been about stress testing it, doing multiple kind of movements, doing different things. And so with the spreadsheet that I got from Hexicat, it's kind of just like a simulation almost of what your collateralization is going to be, kind of almost like the test net, but it's not the actual setup. It's just kind of giving you simulated numbers. But we'd love to see a test net. So
what do you think about like fiat and LL? So on the one hand, you can kind of mitigate the risk of payments with no payment in either protocol, right? And one doesn't have an interest rate, and the other one has an interest rate, but it just gets rolled into your loan and pushes you closer to default, right? Yeah. But if you're collateralizing something that is extremely volatile, then you're taking on the volatility risk of that to access the capital versus, say, if you put in something like USDC, right? You put in like something like USDC and can't collateralize that, and you were able to effectively, mitigate that risk of the volatility, so to speak, so you can pull out a higher amount. Right? Because I was thinking, I'm bullish. I like both. I like crypto in general.
I sacrifice for liquid loans, so I'm there with you, bro.
Yeah, same. But I'm like, as I'm thinking about it more, I don't know if I'm going to use that.
Bob's major thing is, and I'm just going to say this because Bob has mentioned this to me a couple of times, and Bob's one of my good friends, and he's been in Hex for a really long time, and he just wants to know why the testnet is not available if the code is so similar to liquidity.
I'm sure with what happened with fiat, like I'm sure that liquid loans is going to have a testnet out just because like they just got called out kind of with fiat coming out with their testnet. They weren't prepared for that. So now that everyone's like, hey, why don't you have a testnet? Why don't you have a testnet? Why don't you have a testnet? You got awesome marketing. You have awesome videos, lots and lots and lots of information.
Hey, I love to see these guys compete, man. This is fucking capitalism 101, baby. Yeah. I'm like, I love it. I'm loving it.
You got your JP Morgan, you got your Bank of America. You got to have, the different assets, the different places that you can take your liquidity from. At the end of the day, what I'm looking for is the best interest rates the best game theory, right? What's going to keep more money in my pocket? And so whichever one does it best is whichever one I'm gonna, be more like, I'm the one I'm gonna lean into the most. So that's really what it comes down to. It's not so much about, oh, liquid loans is like, I'm not rallying behind the brand. I'm rallying behind the technology. So whatever works better, I'm cool with at the end of the day.
What are you the most excited about other than Pulse Chain, as it obviously for cheaper, faster, blah, 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 the whole hex thing, P hex, as far as stuff that's new, like what do you see? Like because you've been all over crypto, you've decided to kind of focus some of your energy here, right? Clearly, you see value here.
Really, all of my energy.
Thank you. I didn't know enough about you to say that. So that's a huge statement from someone who's been around the block, right? Like you're saying, I've been around and now I'm kind of focusing here because I think the potential is much higher in general. What do you see moving forward as far as Pulse Chain, the launch? Do you see this whole, like my whole thing is that I've never seen a sacrifice or a start to a project with so much volume. There's a lot of volume, right? $1 billion in volume to start, right? Just at the knuckle of it. There's $1 billion in volume. I think people might be a little surprised. Whoopsie, don't hurt me, guys. Don't hurt me, okay? I think people might be a little surprised with the way that things happen initially, just because the volume is so much higher and the popularity and marketing is so much higher. People are already felt like they missed out of Pulse Chain, and it doesn't exist yet. Yeah. I've never seen anything that kind of approached this way. I know guys that say I'm screwed. I didn't sack for Pulse Chain. I'm like, you realize it hasn't came out yet. It doesn't exist. It's a $0 when it comes out, right? Like 0 pennies. So tell me a little bit about the future. What are you thinking? Richard Hart, your whole take on this whole Hexagon ecosystem and like what you've learned.
So I'm gonna be honest, man. There's been so much new things happening, right? Because, when I got involved in like 2017, like late 2017, I saw the bull run from, I think it was like 3K to 20K. And the things that were in the top 10 then are not in the top 10 now. Very few of them are. Tron was in the top 10. I remember there was something, I don't know if you guys maybe ever heard of it, but there was something called like, it was like an exchange, like a crypto exchange. It doesn't come to the top of my head, but so much new technology has come out and only certain things have actually lasted. So, with the rise of NFTs and everything, I always kept the focus on DeFi because that's what I think crypto is. Before you're going to go ahead and add any other application to cryptocurrency as a technology, because that's really what it is. It's a technology, cryptography, right? Before you're going to add anything else, you need to create a solid foundation. And I think that foundation has been setting itself for the past 10 years, really for the past like 5-6 years with Ethereum, right? And the DeFi kind of movement they've created. And so the things that I've focused the most on have been coins that provide yield. Now you can talk about, mining, but then, staking came out, right? When staking was around, you started to think about mining a little bit different. So, okay, now there's staking. How does this set the precedent for the next couple of years, right? When Uniswap token came out, for example, that was one of the very first airdrops I ever experienced. And I think any community member ever experienced, giving people who had a certain wallet that interacted with a certain protocol, a certain amount of coins. That concept happened in 2020. But if you look at the new chains coming out now, they're still relying on bridging. And so to kind of get to my point, the idea that Richard Hart has with Pulse Chain and giving people free PRC20 tokens, like ERC720, PRC721 tokens, right? All these different tokens, it's new, it's innovative, and we have no idea how it's going to play out because it's never happened before. They've always relied on creating a brand new network and then making people transfer value through bridging, which is honestly, it's a very easy way for people to lose a lot of money. And we've seen a lot of exploits happen. We see a lot of hacks happen. And we're not sure we weren't sure how that could have played out, but we saw how it did. The past 2 years have been very evident. Every day, bro, I look at my news articles that I follow. There's a new hack every fucking day, bro. 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, like a ridiculous amount of money just getting, taken from bridges and from different protocols for that matter. So now with kind of Richard coming on to Pulse Chain and doing this airdrop, it's the first time we're ever seeing it. And I know it's going to set a precedent for other networks to do the same in the future. So honestly, bro, I would love to have an answer for you, but it's just, it's like setting that up, like now knowing what I've told you, what would you think could happen? Like, it's almost like you can't guess what can happen because It can be the best thing ever, and it can do opposite to what's happened. You know, when a chain launches, it falls, right? Because remember, they have to extract value from one chain and then take it to another. Or, you know, now we just see a network go straight up.
Have you ever seen communities like this one?
Nah, hell no. I mean, honestly, bro, like the Dogecoin community and the meme coin community, like Shiba and stuff, like they have a really strong community and people rally behind that brand. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think it's a great way for people to onboard to cryptocurrency, but it's not efficient because when it comes down to the bottom line, it's not the best way to have your money invested, right? It's very risky. So this community has the best of both. It has DeFi, it has that meme culture community almost, but it's not meme culture. It's like a love, bro. It's like a passion for a project. It's a passion. And you see both of those things here because we're embracing everything good about cryptocurrency. We're taking the meat, we're leaving the bone, and we're focusing on the good stuff. So
what you were saying, because like we don't know what's going to happen, right? I think that's a great point. Like this is the first time this has happened, which it could just go like a lot of times you said it has dipped, right? Or maybe this is the time where things just start to take off, or we don't know. Maybe this launch is like the beginning of the bull run for crypto, the next bull run for crypto. Like we don't know. What I was thinking about the last couple of days, and as I was like, oh wow, this shit is going to be absolutely insane because not only all the ERC20s, you're copying all the dexes, you're just copying everything over, right? It's like everything's going to be copied over. Like Aave is going to already have a copy on Pulse Chain, right? Like Aave is already going to be there. There's no front end for it, but it's already going to be there. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy because then next year or 18 months or 6 months or 2 years, somebody's literally going to copy Pulse Chain and ERC20s, and they're going to fucking have the same thing, but they're going to have
better, right? And that's the thing, right? Richard spoke about it. I remember he mentioned it one day, and I give all the credit back to him because realistically, I'm just a resource. He's the source. I'm just a resource. I'm gonna repeat everything he's been saying. So anything you're probably gonna hear from me, I've heard from him. You know, when he was mentioning about how he thinks that networks are gonna be more how like people are building schools, right? Like when you build a school, you don't make a campus bigger. You build more schools in different places, and that's how he thinks networks are gonna work. You're gonna have different networks spread around the entire world, and people are gonna use what's more convenient for them depending on where they live. Right, based on what's easier for them to on-ramp to and things like that. And so the idea isn't about having one massive network like Ethereum that gets congested. It can be a lot of interoperable networks working together that allow you to transfer value through them safely. And so, you know, getting through these road bumps, you know, there's going to be a lot of money lost like anything else. When you're launching a business, you're going to lose them a lot of money and, you know, testing and development and stuff like that. But Richard took the smart route. And I think a lot of devs that are coming into Pulse Chain are taking the smarter route, and they're looking at working projects that are already existing that have already been stress tested on ETH, and they're going ahead and they're forking them and just improving them. You know, like if you're on radio station 96.3, but the station's on 96.5, and that's where the clear sound is coming from, you're on 96.3. Like things can be so much better if you're just like a little bit of a frequency higher. So you just got to switch the knob a little bit, get those improvements in, and you're going to get a clear sound. You're going to get clear performance from.
It's also hard. It's also hard to update shit when you're moving. Like if you're in your car and you're trying to work on your engine, like that's hard to do.
And you know what's hard too, Sam? Improving something when someone's constantly improving what you're trying to improve. So it's like it's so much improvement, and that's technology, right? Technology gets cheaper and it gets better faster. That's the crazy thing about technology. Like that's why Teslas are getting cheaper
like
every single year,
right? Like the tech there was so revolutionary at the time, right? Let's talk about Ethereum for a second, because there was Bitcoin and then there was Ethereum as far as like the tech. It's like Ethereum has made its place in stone as an asset.
Yeah.
It's an asset now. Like my mom doesn't know what Ethereum is. She owns it. My dad doesn't know what Ethereum is. He owns it. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously I've helped them out, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't know what they know what Hex is kind of because I talk about it 24/7, but like, but just think like once you gain enough critical mass, you are now cemented in, not forever. Things can happen long term. But we always say this about Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's like, yeah, we don't care what happens with the project. Numbers going up. We know it. We know Ethereum's going up, baby. If I didn't have any other assets and I was holding Ethereum and I was just going about my life, I wouldn't be that worried.
Correct. Same thing with Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin's older, I don't have any doubt that in 5 years, Bitcoin is going to be higher than it is today.
Yeah, and what's really powerful too is you look at Hex, right, where it's so sound and it's so good on its own, right? It's finished product, it's done. That it's allowed for people to build on top of it. and new ideas to come from it. And mind you, it's an ERC20 token. Like, it's not a network. It's just an ERC20. You get me? And I say that very loosely. It's just, but you know, it's a product built on a product. So I can only imagine, bro, when other people come up with, you know, different products and people, you know, and I think then it's going to be more of a brand, because if you think about it, look at Samsung, right? They make phones. Look at Apple. They make phones. People just pick based on their user experience and their brand culture and what they feel like is better for them. So it's going to turn out the same way. I feel like, and once again, we're in the same tech space. It's just a little bit different. You know, we're talking about different technologies, but we're essentially in the same space.
Comment to highlight to keep the conversation going. And I would love to add a little comment after this. It's amazing to think how badly marketed the average crypto project is. Actually, the whole space spawned out of a coding nerd world, which probably don't inhabit lots of sales experts. Exactly. Guys like me are coming in and we don't know how to do anything else but sell. All guys like me do sell. We don't know how to do anything else. We don't look at computers. We don't look at shit. We talk, you know, and I can talk to anyone.
Kevin,
so guys like me from the fitness industry, I was all about showing my body, you know, I'm the right, Sam, like I'm the object that we're talking about when we're talking about fitness, right? And I'm doing videos, right? Same with you. And now I'm coming into this space where it's just a bunch of nerds and liars and like guys that are smart, but the guys that are really smart, they don't talk so much. They're not talkers.
But that's their POV
and chit chat, and it's like their vacation because they're so used to not talking to motherfuckers. Like, and they say it like, so I'm bridging that gap and where I can be super open minded with some of these guys to the point where like this is just a nice guy too. We're different, but I'm so open minded because I'm really just diving as far into the tech as I can. What do you think about the marketing? What do you think about what Richard Hart has done to change marketing forever in crypto because he had that experience? Let's talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, Sam, you want to talk about that first? You want to go ahead?
Well, so I think it's very interesting. So, by the way, I've only been in crypto for 60 days, maybe just over 60 days. So brand new, but I've known about crypto for 10 years. I just didn't do anything with it. I didn't like dive in. I didn't like start buying anything until just recently. But when you understand technology and that people are just like the people who are on the cutting edge of things tends to be a little bit more nerdy and they can be introverted. And when you have somebody that has maybe a little bit more well-rounded business experience from different things and they bring that into a new environment, they're able to see things that other people are not able to see. And with Richard Hart, at least from my perspective so far, having run multiple other businesses, what he says, like you're able to see things that other people don't because they've only been focusing on the technology for years and years. And then you're able to bring these valuable lessons that you learn in business to crypto and apply that to the crypto is insane. Like with Hex, right? And putting in like, hey, what's another, because now I'm thinking about like, hey, how can I create a financial product given what I know about, because my background's in finance and accounting. So how can I take something in that world and apply that in today in crypto in something like that? And I'm like, because that's and I see him doing it very successful, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is literally going to be changing crypto forever, from the standpoint of like, yes, what happened was Hex, right? But then also the sacrifice thing, like how that is.
What do you think got you into Hex, Sam? Like, what part of Hex got you into? Was it a friend or like what officially got you in? Like, I'm sold.
Well, so I focused on Tesla. Tesla, GRC. So
my raging passion and absolute neurotic phone calls might have swayed him a hair.
Cool.
Well, let's talk about your story a little bit, please.
I've been in Tesla for 10 years. So I saw Tesla way before everybody else saw Tesla.
That's badass.
And I was like, oh my God, you guys should pay attention to Tesla. You guys should pay attention to Tesla. You guys should buy Tesla. You guys should have Tesla. Like you can buy long-term Tesla options. Like they're a good deal. Like you should do all this kind of stuff. And about 2 years ago, I told my girlfriend that Tesla's already had their giant run up to $1 trillion, right? And I told my girlfriend that, hey, I think the next thing I'm gonna focus on is crypto. But I didn't do anything. And then about like maybe 60 days ago, I had reached out to GRC and I was like, hey, I saw him posting about Hex, right? And I was like, oh, hey, you own Hex. I thought Hex was HNT. That's how little, 60 days ago, this is how little I knew about it. I thought Hex and HNT were the same thing, helium, right? I thought they were the same thing. I was like, you have that, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, oh, I think we're talking about something different. And then as soon as we started talking, got on the phone, I started to learn more about it. I was like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity. Let go of everything related to Tesla and just started going all in on crypto every day since then. And
That's cool, man.
Freaking exciting. Like, I'm very, very excited for what's about to take place.
I'll tell you this much to kind of keep into the marketing conversation. I think what Richard has done is very similar to, and this might be a little controversial, but I want to open up the conversation here. If you guys don't mind, like in regards to like how President Trump came into the United States. And I'm gonna give that example because, I'm gonna be honest, like no matter what your political party is, I respect your opinion, but if you look at Trump beyond, the superficial stuff, the things that he says, his principles and what he knows about business has never really been implemented into politics. And you saw the dramatic change in the economy and how people were moving. And if you think about it, like, I live in the United States, but I felt the difference, and I'm older now. I'm 20 something. I'm a taxpayer. You feel me? Like when I was a kid, maybe I couldn't tell you shit, but now I can because I pay taxes. I know what it's like. And you felt the difference. Now, of course, I was swayed by the pandemic, whatnot. But my point here is you kind of have that same dynamic with when Richard came into crypto and he decided to kind of start moving in here. He had a lot of marketing experience, SEO experience. Like he knew how to optimize SOE, right? Search engine, SEO, yeah. Search engine optimization. He knew how to optimize a product and get eyes to be on it. He knew that 3-letter domains were powerful and how that can, add to the overall aspect of someone coming onto a site or really just remembering the name. The color patterns. I mean, just little shit like that. Like you wouldn't know it unless you had experienced it in some other way or in another field. And so I think they're just bringing what they know best into what their next position is. Trump, it was politics. With Richard, it was, cryptocurrency. But look at the things that we're getting from it. And once again, it's all just building blocks. We're all just growing on top of that. We're growing on top of it. And then it gets me excited because I've always been here along for the ride, bro. I've only been involved in cryptocurrency, I think like really intensely 3 years max, like fully into it. The other time it was split between trading and cryptocurrency. So you can kind of tell how those two kind of clash. You're talking about buying and selling, very quickly as opposed to just holding and not worrying about price fluctuation. So
sorry to change the subject here, but I wanted to ask you about the trading thing here.
Yeah.
Were you trading an individual asset or were you arbing stuff?
So I was trading Forex. So I was just trading assets. Well, in this case, currencies. I was doing the British pound, the US dollar, like any gold, anything you can think of. That was my forte. And like I was just trading every day. And then what did
you learn from the highs and the lows?
So the lows get really low. When you get on a losing streak, it's really shitty because it just sucks because at the end of the day, when you're coming from an emotional perspective, you're gonna feel it a lot more. It wasn't until a few years in that you start to detach yourself emotionally and everything becomes very statistical. So like when everything turns into math, there's no, do I feel good about this? Do I feel bad? No, do the numbers make sense? Like, does this make sense? Does this setup make sense? And then, years into it, I turn into that. So it did become a little bit easier to interact with, or to trade day to day because you start to remove those emotional tendencies and they tend to not affect your decisions because now you're just really kind of like numb to shit. But that's the problem. You become numb to shit. So money just becomes money. So when you can lose $20,000 and bro, you're down $20,000, but you don't feel it. But that's fucked. You know how fucked it is to not feel the loss of $20,000? Like $20,000 is life-changing money, bro. You give that to someone and that shit can change someone's life. And so I don't know, bro. I just felt very desensitized to it. And I mean, I kind of feel like that now considering, the gains that we've made or I've made considering, right? But it was that, like, it was just that desensitized.
Did you trade in crypto?
Yeah, sometimes I was trading perpetual futures, on FTX or stuff like that. Like I would do different things. But ultimately ended up in, wins and then losses and wins. And I was good enough to win more than I lost, or better said, to lose more than I won, but still make money, right? Like I was still profitable. But, it was just like I found myself, bro, going to bed every day at 5 a.m. because I was trading London session. I was waking up at like 3 p.m. I felt like shit. I was getting fat. Yeah, like I had like literally, bro. I went last year, which was the year I decided to quit trading because of Richard Hart video I saw on YouTube. I literally, bro, I was in Colombia for 3 months. So during the pandemic, I moved to Colombia for 3 months to Cartagena, Colombia, and I just lived there. I lived with my family for 2 months in like the hood, like the fucking ghetto. Like my fucking Hex bag was pumping. I had more money than I ever made in my life, and I was literally in the fucking hood of Colombia, bro. Like I can't. I shit you not.
What
I'm
a
living
fucking
like
paradigm.
I was.
What a paradigm shift for you,
Yeah.
like emotionally. You were just like, what the fuck is going on
It
here?
was wild, bro. Riots going on in the streets. You know, people burning cars, people burning buildings, like shit like that, bro. It was crazy. And then, you know, a month, 2 months later, shit kind of died down. And then I moved to the city by myself, where I had like more of a different feel, where I just went to the city and I got my own condo. I lived by myself and I just lived. And I had like those two polar fucking lifestyles in 3 months. And I came back, bro, and I gained like 26 pounds. So I left weighing 180. I came back weighing 206. I had fucking big rolls on the side of my fucking bro. I just felt bad, and it took me a year to get rid of that fucking weight. And bro, I'm gonna be honest, like it always in those tendencies of going to sleep late, waking up early. You feel me? Or like waking up like super late.
How many benuelos were you eating?
Oh, bro, I was eating everything. Bro, I was eating sushi, whatever the fuck. And the thing is it was mad. It was like $7 a day to eat out.
Oh my god!
So I was eating out at restaurants every day, just having a good time. But hey, my body
they like to eat down there in Colombia, the carbs too. They love carbs.
And so to the point, man, like I said, this was all induced by the trading though, because the trading had me in that fucked up, like just looking at a computer screen, not going to the gym. You feel me? Not focusing on my health. I was here focusing on this trade, like, you know, watching this shit, and it just wasn't healthy, bro. And so when I saw that video, I decided to stop, and it took me a year to take that weight off. But in December, I started a new diet. I removed dairy from my diet.
Wow.
So I removed dairy, sugar, and I lost 26 pounds in 4 months. I'm at 179 right now.
Wow. Hey, congrats, brother, dude. That's amazing. I'm happy for you.
You might not know because we just met each other literally, but have you heard about? I mean, we met each other for like a moment, and then we met each other today. Have you heard about the fitness challenge?
So I have, and the reason why I didn't participate in it was, well, I kind of am, but I'm not. But like the reason why I didn't was because like I had already gone through this whole 40 kind of day thing for myself. And so I'm still about it because I like the fact that you guys are doing it. I actually did that without hitting the gym at all. I just did it changing my diet. Yeah. So now that I'm at a good weight, I want to go.
Wow, that's extremely impressive, by the way.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's honestly, bro, if you can't control what you put in your mouth.
I know exactly what it takes to lose weight, and I've never done it without training. I've always trained, but I can only imagine because when I'm dieting, I train really hard. Like it's just I train really hard all the time, I guess. But like I just, you know what I mean? I've never gone the pure diet way because I've just been a bodybuilder, but I know how hard that can be. But now you put yourself in the position where you can like do light resistance training like 4 times a week, and your body's just going to look 100 times different than it ever did because now you have lost the mass. You know, your body could start, you know what I mean? You could start and you can go real slow with it too. It's like, you don't have to push it at all. Like you can do like 3 sets of 5 exercises, like 45 minutes, 4 times a week. And that's it. That's what I do. Literally.
And look, that was my biggest problem because when I would start my journeys, because remember, it was a year of me doing my best. I don't like to say try, but me doing my best to get rid of this weight. Right. And I was going to the gym and I would stop going to the gym and it was a mixture of diet and exercise. But I knew that I was like, bro, if I can't control what the fuck I put in my mouth, I'm not even going to be able to control myself getting out of bed in the morning.
Wow.
You get me? Like as a man, if I cannot control what I put in my mouth every single day, I don't have that much self-control to probably even get out of bed. So I needed to control that aspect of my life first. And I was very honest with myself. Then I started to shift into, now I'm shifting into adding the training. And mind you, bro, I've been working out since I was in high school. You feel me? I used to be skinny as fuck. I had a great physique. I've been working out for years. So it's not like this is something new to me. I'm coming.
You went over to Colombia, bro. You got rich.
Yeah, you feel
that's what everyone does, dude. The first time when I started making enough money where I could hang out on the weekends and do whatever I wanted, which is really all the standard of high living to me was like going partying and eating out like whenever I want. But that's enough for me. I gained an absurd amount of weight and I was training really poorly and my mental health was horrid. So, and that's what I'm saying. People really like me and Sam because we are predictable as fuck. If we say we're going to be somewhere, we're there every time. We've never not been there ever. You know what I mean? And I put that standard on myself in front of everyone because I watch everyone else. They put no standards on themselves and they undercut everything they do because of lack of effort and telling people more than they're capable of doing. I've always been honest with everyone.
Yeah.
I've always said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here and I want to help. You know what I mean? I want to do this because I don't need money.
That's
And I
powerful,
told
bro.
everyone I didn't need money in the beginning. I was like, I was straight up honest. I was like, I got 4 months, 5 months, and I'm chilling. That was only like 45 days ago, and everything's really been going good since then. This has been the most spiritually transformative process I've ever gone through in my entire life, from the last 60 days of my life. So I'm going through an absolute transformation in this moment, and it's the most exhilarating thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I haven't talked to a girl or left my house very much other than to go to the gym in 60 days, where that's all I cared about doing for years. So transformations are possible, guys.
You're in a different.
It is possible. I love the fact that you're saying that. It's definitely possible.
And some people get into that spot.
Drugs. It was like, I remember I was in a halfway house with 11 heroin addicts living there just for 2 years. No car.
But now, how did your environment change? Seriously, like, what did you do to, like, what was like, maybe, like, looking back now, what was one of those like things that you did to change your environment? Because maybe it wasn't like a priority for you at the moment, or maybe it was, but how did you?
I got arrested when I got arrested for the last time at 19 years old that I ever got in trouble for anything serious. I sat on the floor of that jail cell and I prayed to God that I said, I will never do it again, ever. I said, I don't care if the rest of my life is agony and pain. I won't do it. And I didn't do it ever again.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe in God one lick either. I'm not a spiritual guy at 19 years old. I was in college. I was a nutcase. I said, God, I know you're up there. Something's going on here. And I said, I'm giving up right here, right now. I said, I don't have the answers. I don't know what's going on. I don't have the insight. I just don't. I don't know what's going on. And I'm willing to help. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do. Let's say these words out loud. And I don't even believe in God that hardcore still.
I mean, 90 to 99% of success is spiritual. It's really based on what you are, but 1 to 10% is the physical aspect, what you do, the actions you take, whatnot. But 90 to 99% of success is spiritual.
That was emotional for me, dude. That was pretty wild.
When you tap into that spiritual side of success, bro, you start to see a different aspect of you start to see things change, because maybe not instantaneously, you will start to see things change, because when you lean into that, you start to realize that there's things more than just how to do something. It's why you're doing something that honestly changes how you're doing something goes. So, even with investing, I think when you change that mindset, you start to see different results. When you think different, you feel different. When you feel different, you act different. When you act different, you get different results.
Have you, it sounds like you may have gone through some of that changes yourself, from going through and changing your fitness, and building a healthier lifestyle and habits. And now you're like, oh shit, I've lost 26 pounds, and testing all these different things out, and I wasn't consistent. Being brutally honest with yourself and realizing, like, I'm just not being the leader of my life that I want to be. Yep. Sounds like maybe you've gone through some of those things, and that's also been impacted with your investing from the changes you're making for yourself and your health.
Definitely. And honestly, bro, like, for me, the biggest change, I'm still changing. I'm still figuring things out. I don't have it figured out. I'm 24 years old, and I'm still learning new things about myself every single day, because there's things I have yet to experience. And so it's okay to not know. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel the way you feel, because we all feel the same way, and nobody just says it out loud. It's only until you start to see those improvements that you get a little bit more confident. And then hopefully, right, you start to put yourself into a leadership position where you can help other people get out of that feeling as well.
Who was your role model? Who, and I say this because I know I had so many. Who did you find or dig into, or a family member, a hero of yours? Where did you get it? Because you're 24 years old. I'm a very smart guy. I understand how long it takes to progress in this world. And I understand that you have, to a degree, gone through a lot of experiences that some people don't experience until they're older.
Yeah. So
or never.
There's lots yeah, I agree with you guys. And I'm grateful to have found it at a young age. First and foremost, biggest mentor, the big G. You feel me? I'm a little G. I got the little G. You got the big G. That's the first one. And then two, I'm very happy that network marketing came into my life. So a lot of people have like this bad stigma. Some of you guys may know it as multi-level marketing, but with certain companies and pyramids and all this stuff, which they do exist, but there are companies that are doing great things. And the information that passes around these companies, bro, it's a lot of self-help, personal development. It's a lot of books. It's a lot of audios, things I used to never do. And so I had a boy of mine. His name is Scotty. He started taking me to church with him and stuff like that. He was already going on through this spiritual journey. And for me, it felt right because I changed my environment when I joined this company. And of course, I was trading, doing new things. And so over time, I got to meet his mentor, which was a gentleman by the name of David Imonitie. Some of you guys may know him. If you've heard of a company called Organo Gold, he was like a top salesman there. But these guys, bro, they represent what I call the highest level of leadership, what John C. Maxwell calls the highest level of leadership, pinnacle leadership, which is just because of who they are, what they've done, and what they represent, people follow these individuals. And so this guy has, tens of millions of dollars in revenue, if that's what you care about. He's helped tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, establish themselves and establish a business that ultimately helped them move forward. But he also instilled in these individuals, me included, these principles of success. Like what I just told you, that 1 to 10% of success is physical, 9 to 99% is 99% is spiritual. Little things like that. And there's so many more nuggets I can give you, but David,
people are defeated before they wake up. Right. So, you're like, it is so mental, because I remember those years when I was defeated, and it was right away. It was all the time. It was right when I woke up, and now it's never.
So I feel
it's
like
never. Like, I never feel helpless like I did. Go ahead, Sam.
So many people though do feel helpless though, and they think they might have a good mindset, but they're not sure. Like, I completely agree with what you're saying, but so many people that I talk to feel like they're helpless and they're like drowning in their self pity and fucking their own bullshit, but they don't realize that, and they think they have a good mindset. So I completely agree. And changing the mindset is the consistency of showing the fuck up every day for the rest of your life. And when you're honest about you showing up in every area of your life that's important to you, like if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a leader of your life, showing up in every single one of those areas for the rest of your life. And that part of the mindset is what allows you to change everything in your life, because you start to show up in all those areas that you didn't show up, that you didn't take action on, that you didn't do, like you didn't have the discipline to eat in a certain way.
Correct. And look, I'm gonna be honest, Sam. Everything is determined by your definition of success. Okay. A lot of people define success differently. If you guys are watching this right now, I would love for everyone to literally, if like every single one of you, I'm talking to you, if you're focusing on the road, listen right now, however you're listening to this. I want you guys to go on YouTube, after this show, and look up something called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. All right. The Strangest Secret. And in there, you're going to see what they mean, by what success is. And I'm going to give you a quick gist of it, but essentially what he defines success as is success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal or a worthy idea, a worthy goal. And so success isn't the car. Success isn't the house. Success isn't the money. Success is the person or the process of you becoming, the idea of you becoming better to attain that goal. So success is a moving target, essentially. If you think of success in that way, everything changes, because people are so fixated on the car. Like, I love Ferraris. I love the idea. Like, bro, I used to go to the Bentley dealership. I used to go to the Ferrari dealership, and I used to smell the interior of the car. I used to see it with my eyes. I used to feel it with my hands. I even licked the steering wheel. I tasted the fucking car. Like, bro, I did everything possible to get as close to I can as these things, right? But the overall idea is the fact that, like, success isn't about that. Like, yes, I'm working on my manifestation there and doing all these things, but success ultimately is the idea of who you're going to become, because the version of Kevin today isn't the Kevin that's sitting in that Ferrari, period. The version of you that's sitting in that's in that house with those kids, with your husband, or however you want to imagine yourself, right? With your wife, right? Whatever it is, it's a different version of you, and it requires change. And so if you focus on that, you will lean into change a little bit more, because change is uncomfortable, but change is what's required, period. And so when you think about it from that perspective, it really helps, and it makes you kind of almost like excited to try something new or do something different, because we're also okay with doing the same things every day and having this rhythm and this pattern. But honestly, that's kind of like your comfort zone. Like, you're comfortable.
You have to go outside of.
That's so beautifully put. you got to switch up one major thing like a year, whether that's a hobby.
That's a good way to think about
what
it.
you read, or like you have to make sure, and whether that's an hour a day for me, like I'll move like 2 cities over and just go to the gym there and just start talking to other people.
Dude,
Like,
I did that. So mind you, I actually went to a gym over here in Miami called Anatomy. You guys can find me there, fuck it, right? But it's a gym out here in Miami. But this gym, it's $179 a month just to go to this gym. But then you think about it, you're like, what type of people pay $179 a month for the fucking gym instead of the $20 a month you pay or $10 a month you pay at Planet Fitness or LA or whatever, wherever the fuck you go? Like, it's a different caliber of people, bro. I'm telling you, I go there and I've met so many great people that think like me, that, you know, are similar to me, that like the same thing, and people that are completely different than me. But this is where I decided to really get out there and do something different. So this is a great example. I'm happy you brought that up because that was something I did. My boy actually, he told me, he's like, bro, why don't you join a boxing class? Go do something different. Like, go meet people. Go do something else.
Life hack of the century, though. Life hack of the century. Real quick tidbit. I have to pee really bad. Thank you so much, Bitfinesse, for the $10 super chat. Whatever it takes, brother. Bitfinesse, always supporting me, my absolute brother. What were we saying 1 second ago? I want to say my point, Sam. What was it?
No, I was going to agree with a lot of what Kevin was saying, and I forgot exactly what it was. There's so many like golden nuggets that we've just been talking about, especially with like where Kevin was saying, if you envision the Ferrari, if you envision the passionate, loving, caring, like amazing relationship that you want with your spouse, if you envision being a leader at your work and doing the things that you love and talking to the people you love every day and all of that type of stuff, that requires a different version of who you currently are today.
Yeah.
What characteristics does that person need to incorporate? And then what GRC was about changing, like over the last several years, I do this in all areas of my life. So with music, right? I would generally for years and years and years just listen to one type of music. So now I've forced myself to just listen to different types of music. I read a lot of books. So I read just random some books maybe every month or every other month, just because I want to see somebody else's point of view, because that's going, if it's intelligent shit, I'm going to allow that to influence me to change things, because then I know I'm going to be stronger. The same thing with like podcasts. I'll listen to some really weird shit just every once in a while so that I can get a different perspective. The same thing with like anything that I'm doing or the people that I'm talking to, because the people around you are going to have like different answers or influence on you. Just like that, the saying, you're basically the average of the 5 people around you. That includes those 5, their relationships with their spouses. That includes the money that they make. That includes how they are healthy. That includes like their mental or spiritual or whatever you want to call it, health, all of those things. So think about who you spend time with, right? And
also,
I know it's so important.
Not to interrupt you, bro, but not just who you spend time with, but who you listen to. That's the ultimate question. I know so much about you by who you listen to. You tell me who you listen to, and I'll tell you exactly who you are. Because like there's the problem is either one, you listen to everybody, right, and everything. And I'm not saying that in any way. I'm saying like if you listen to everyone, anybody that says something, you're very easy to fall into that or fall into this. So you'll stop doing what you do because of someone else's plans or whatever. 2, you listen to a mentor. You have someone that's the only person you listen to, right? It's someone they've retained success. They have the results you want. They have everything that's the champion that you're focused on. They have everything you want. They're similar to you in like the past that they've lived. They have the results you want, and they're the type of person you want to become. That's your mentor. Or 2 or 3, you don't listen to anyone. And that's the worst one of all. Because if you don't listen to anybody,
that's silly. It's so ignorant.
You don't listen.
It's a slow process.
What the fuck? Like you got to think about it. And that's egotistical.
It makes the person automatically uncredible intellectually to me.
You feel me? So
0.
Yeah, no, and it's powerful, bro. So when you ask that question, who do you listen to, and you really start to focus around, the people around, who do people around me listen to? Like who do your parents listen to? That's a big question. Like I'm young, and I come from a family that my parents weren't financially stable. They weren't focused on money. They weren't buying real estate. They didn't have businesses. They were a working class family. Shout out to my mother because she came to the United States with the goal of raising me. You feel me? And raising my brother. And she did that, and her job is done. That's how she feels in her on her own. But we never got the education, so I had to go seek that. and I had to find a mentor. I had to find a champion, someone that had the results I wanted. So how am I going to become a millionaire if I'm listening to my mom all day? Like, I love my mom. And listen, I'm sure you guys love your moms too. I'm sure you love your fathers, your grandmothers, whoever raised you. I'm sure you love them to death. But you can't listen to people who don't have the results that you want. Now, I'm not telling you don't listen to your parents. All right, let's be honest here.
No,
But in reality,
directly,
but I'm telling you, don't listen to your parents if they don't have the results you want with the results you want.
And
to
not
attain.
even
So
that,
find
even if
them.
they do have decent results, they were doing that shit 30 years ago when it doesn't count anymore.
It's
It
different.
doesn't. The whole game has
Yeah.
changed. It's 100%
Yeah.
different. My parents don't know what crypto is. They don't know what any of this stuff is. They don't know about social media. They don't know about TikTok. They don't know about nothing that we know about. 90% of the traffic and the energy consumed in the world is directly associated with. So, like, it's just important to remember, like, we have to think differently because things are different. You know, Sam's always mentioning groundbreaking things like he's the first one thinking of them. And I love that because he's like, I know so few people are looking at this, like a handful, like there's probably couple hundred guys that are talking, having hour-long conversations about the nuance of maxi and hex arbitrage opportunity. So we understand that, right? And I trust Sam with some information. I trust Bullish with some information as far as everyone has earned their stripes in their specific fields. And I just bring people together and we all open-minded people, right? Like that's the big key. It's like if someone's not open-minded, they're automatically unintelligent. They're directly proportional.
It restricts their intelligence a lot, significantly. Yeah. It really stops them from growing. And it goes back to that ego thing. Like, why don't you listen to anybody else? Like, and honestly, it's kind of difficult sometimes too, because I don't know if you guys have ever met that person who's super spiritual. They manifest everything. They speak positive, right? And that was what I was taught. But also, I'm a very real person. Like, nobody could take that part of me away from me. Like, they taught me how to manifest and focus on the things that I want and almost like ignore the realness of life and only live in this like fake world. But I was such a real person.
What do you mean exactly?
So, bro, right. So, like, if I'm sure, have you ever read, have you ever heard of the Secret? Right? Have you ever seen The Secret on Netflix? Okay, if you haven't, I would recommend check it out. But it talks about the law of attraction, and in the law of attraction, right? Those who ask and believe will receive. That's the idea.
But do you actually believe that? Because I don't.
I do, and I really do believe that because
what they leave out is the action every fucking day.
And so now here's the thing, right? Like, there's a spiritual law, which is the law of attraction. But then there's more laws like the law of polarity. You have, so many laws, bro. And I would love to talk about it. We're not going to get that deep into it right now, but there's so many spiritual laws. And, bro, these spiritual laws, bro, they do have, if you believe it, they have a dominion over the universe. And, it's a lot of, it really mixes a lot between religion and shit. So I don't really want to get too deep into it. But the idea is this, right? If you ask, you believe, you receive. Now, when you're asking, right, you need to ask. If you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed. Let's be honest. And Sam, I appreciate you because you ask the questions that sometimes people don't even want to ask because they're scared to ask. Even if at the risk of looking dumb or whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, there's no stupid fucking question. Even if someone wants to call you fucking dumb or stupid on Twitter, like, fuck you, bro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. There's no stupid question. You're seeking information. So one, you're asking, right? And ultimately, if you're asking for something that you want, whether it's an answer or it's a thing, right? You're asking. You got to start by asking. Two, you got to believe. You got to believe that it's possible. I'm sorry, but belief is like the driving force of everything. If you don't believe you can do something, you're already shooting yourself in the foot. Like, a soldier doesn't go to war thinking he's not going to come back home to his family. You feel me? Like, it just doesn't play that way. It doesn't. And so how are you going to go to war and already think you're going to die on the battlefield? No, I'm coming home to my family. I believe I'm coming home. Regardless, if I die on the battlefield, I die on the battlefield. It is what it is. But if I don't, right, or I won't, because I just don't believe I will. So I'm going to go in there knowing that every corner I turn, everything I do is one step closer to me coming home or me getting to where I want to go. Ultimately, me getting 3, what I believed in, which is the 3 receiving, right? The third step is the receiving, and that's the easy part. But in the believing process, it's like how you were saying, no one takes action, right? So
that's
if you
the
don't
only issue
believe,
I have.
if you look, Sam, I'm gonna be honest. If you don't fully believe, you won't take the actions necessary. So if you say, how can I believe that? Well, there you go. Because you don't fully believe it, you're not going to do the things that it would have taken for you if you fully believed in yourself and what was possible. So that's where a lot of people struggle, because it's not a spiritual law problem. It's a belief problem. You have a belief problem, my friend. You just don't believe, whether it's in yourself or it's in the process. There's just something that's lacking belief, and you need to work on the belief side. And I think that's something we can all work on. It's like how people tell you, work out in the gym.
It's so heady for so many people to grasp where the action, for me, right? So you talk to so many people, and when you try to conceptualize that to somebody, it's way easier for them to grasp like the actions, because it's like, it doesn't matter how big the steps are whatsoever. Like, and what you were talking about, feeding your mind, like the most powerful tool you'll ever use in your entire life, and you're feeding it trash, like what people put into their bodies from a physical sense. If you're having McDonald's and pizza and ice cream every day, what do you think is going to happen to your health? What do you think is going to happen to your physical appearance? The same thing happens with this, but it's that just like there's the belief, but then there's that chicken or the egg type of thing, right? The chicken or the egg, which one comes first?
I believe this, Sam. This is what I believe. Excuse me to interrupt you, but this is what I think. Good. Right? Remember what I mentioned when I said your thoughts determine your feelings determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. Now, I can prove this by science. The fact that people feel before they think, because in their mind, right, in their brain, excuse me, they have, I believe it's the reticular activating system, right? And in your you have first of all, you have something called the reticular activating system. Two, you have the way that your mind processes information, right? If you've ever read the book Emotional Intelligence, when you, let's say, are being attacked by a shark, your mind, your brain first feels that feeling of being attacked by a shark. But the problem is as that thought, right, is being processed from your mind, it passes your parietal lobe first, where you feel, and then it reaches your frontal lobe, where you process thought. So before you're even thinking rationally of what's happening, you're already feeling something. That's why we feel, and then we have to think. That's why people react and not respond. So it's your thoughts determine your feelings determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. So when we talk about asking and then believing, the believing part is your thoughts. That's where it all starts. It's what you're thinking about. If you already think you don't believe, bro, the feeling is going to change. As opposed to.
So where do you think that relates to, like, because we're from the bodybuilding industry, right?
Yeah.
So we see a lot of guys with hormonal imbalances, like in our day-to-day, that they have no idea. We know, we could tell you 150 things about you that you have no idea about, because we've studied everything. Mm-hmm. Like guys that are overweight, what does that generally look like on a blood panel? Not super good. Generally with your hormone balance, Sam, I'm going to let you get into more of the specifics there, but we see that Sam thinks that there's and I do too, a little bit kind of the same. There's a lack of leadership in this world. And there's a lack of people that will take accountability for everything in their life. There's not another human that can walk in front of my door and tell me one fucking word about anything. Not a human. There's no one I owe for nothing.
Play the victim.
I don't owe you anything. There's no one. My mom, my dad, I love them, of course. Everyone, I love you guys. No one could say I'm doing wrong and I need to be doing something else, or that I must do something for them. No employer, no human. And in this world, there's not so much of that. So I'm in a position where I said, you know what? I'm just going to be the guy. I'm just going to be that guy.
You decided to be the hero, not the victim. And that's the thing. The victim mentality is probably the most serious pandemic going on in the world right now. And it's that people feel like, they're a victim to everything. And it's unfortunate because when you think like a victim, you don't act like a hero. Like you don't have the same level of actions. It just doesn't work the same. Remember, it comes down to what? Your thoughts. Your thoughts determine how you feel, and your feelings determine your actions. So if you're coming from a victim, from a place as a victim, even if you are a victim, you can't think like one. You feel me? Like I can victimize myself being affected by someone else, but the second that I start to change because someone did something to me based on how they were feeling or whatever they did, I lose because I'm changing because of someone else's actions, not because of my own. Does that make sense? So it's like, it's very hard, and it's also very hard to discern between these different things. And it only comes with one, people helping you understand these things, which I was grateful to have, and hopefully I'm helping you guys do that today too. And two, experience.
One of the things that comes to mind in terms of when you try to explain that you're actually creating your own emotional state or whatever you want to call it, your feelings. Like you try to explain that to somebody. One way I heard it phrased once, which I appreciate because I think it's very clear and simple for a lot of people to understand. You know Spanish, right? I would assume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you were to speak in Spanish and call me, whatever the fuck you want to, just say very derogatory, just whatever you want to say in terms of insults, it doesn't mean anything to me, right? But if you were to say the same thing in English, the only reason that there could be any reception from me is because I am placing meaning on anything that you're fucking saying. Where it's just, I get to choose to respond however the fuck I want to respond. And it's so simple. It's so simple, but people are like, oh, this person said this person caused me to be like unhappy. Well, that's your problem right there. Like you were just talking about being a victim.
Yeah.
It's because you're placing responsibility for your own feelings outside of yourself instead of taking the responsibility to recognize you have the choice. You have the choice to respond to that situation in a way that is emotional or not emotional. And you can create those emotions that you want.
Quickly, Maximus hit a new all-time high premium of 3.26%.
Pull up a chart, bro. Pull up a chart real quick.
Over the hex price. At the top, 3.26% over the hex price at the chart. It seems like it moved down a little bit, but that's pretty effing crazy. We were talking about this for the last 2 days. Me and Sam were talking about
I'm excited about this.
And
I'm
it hit
going to build this position.
Sam, what if that's the last time there's a 3.26% premium?
I want there to be a sell-off. Like, that would be awesome. Like, wait until my refinance finishes going through, right? And then this I'm going to buy the shit out of
Sam
this.
doesn't want price to go up because he wants the price to
your
go
boy, I'm borrowing my
No, because
car.
Because I like mispricing. So I always think about like things that are mispriced in the marketplace. Like yesterday, I found one between Hex, Hedron, and Maxi. So I said earlier, I don't know if you were on here, but if you have apples, oranges, and bananas, and they all trade one for one, then you can't put 3 of one of these things in and come out with 5 because they all trade one for one, right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Well, in like financial markets, there's mispricing, which allows you. So I ran the numbers in a spreadsheet, did a whole video. If you guys want to check it out, it's on my YouTube channel. But basically, you could put in $10,000 and you go through the sequence because there's mispricing in the market. You put in $10,000 at the top. By the time it gets to the bottom, you're at almost $11,000 of profit just because there's mispricing. It's not like you're trying to catch a swing or catch this trend or that type of thing. It's there. What is this? Is what arbitrage does. Like it's basically if the prices are this digital asset is $6 here and over here, this digital asset that is exactly the same thing as $8. You buy it for $6 and you sell it for $8 and you make $2 profit and you just pay the transaction cost.
So
right?
Sam, you know what story you love, bro? I think you would appreciate it. The fact that you're that passionate about arbitrage, bro. So you're familiar with FTX, right?
Not really. No.
Okay, but you know the platform, like, and how big it is today.
I know the guy, the founder dude. I think.
So Sam, Sam. Yeah. Have you heard a story about how he made his millions?
I would like
From
you to kind of elaborate on
arbitrage. Yeah.
We'll talk about a story. I know a little teensy. Like I'm brand new to crypto.
Yeah,
so
let us know we don't know because I don't really know.
Okay, so I saw this on YouTube. So if I miss up a couple of things, excuse me, but I want to give it to you like as truthful as I remember it. So Sam, he said he had a team, right? And Sam, what he would do was he was cash heavy, so he was trading Bitcoin in the U.S. like at $1,000. So he would buy Bitcoin in the U.S. at $1,000, and then he found a way to transfer money same day to Japan. I think it was Japan, and Bitcoin price was there trading at 1,100.
Yes.
And so it was a 10% difference, but these guys were doing, or like 9%, but these guys were doing like over $1 million every single fucking day, bro. And I'm telling you, like, just arbitraging.
Economic mass is important,
bro. Fucking crazy. And so he exploited this, and that's how he built enough capital to create FTX through that arbitrage opportunity.
But these opportunities, Kevin, are all over.
They're everywhere. Yeah,
they're
all over the place.
But Sam, the workload to find them all has intrinsic value as well, and the mistakes you'll make along the way. But if you're a very detail-oriented person and you have a lot of economic mass, I mean, you're really just talking about surfing the web.
That's today, though. because we're talking about Sam 8 years ago, maybe.
It was fucking stupid.
Bro, it was
years
a different
ago.
world. Like, you know how hard it is to transfer money from one place to another already? Like, imagine, like, he was doing it through me. I don't even know how the fuck he did it. I think he explained it, but he was like, bro, he had 5 minutes to do the transaction every single day. That's how much of a time crunch there was between him being able to make money
Well,
that
so
day.
here's the thing. So why one of the reasons in arbing time is so important, right? So say in what you're just talking about, maybe he just has to go through a digital route so that he can plant himself in Japan to trade on that, right? So he has to transfer from this wallet to this wallet and then get on there and do the fucking transaction or something, right? The other reason time is so important is because if you have 2 or 3 or 4 steps in an arb, then any one of those steps can change slightly as you do the transaction and as other people interact with the marketplace. So that opportunity could close while you're in the middle of it, right? So but in crypto, due to the nature of how digital assets are, but also that we're like on the fringe of society. Like DeFi is on the fringe of society. There's like a tiny fraction of the world population who knows what DeFi is, and a smaller fraction of that who actually understands what arbitrage is. So there's like a teeny little bit amount of people who are actually trying to make the market more efficient, because that's what you're doing, right? Because you see things it's $6 here and it's $8 here. Like, let's bring those so that they're even, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be tremendous. There's going to be so many of these opportunities when pulse chain losses. But if you look at legacy, I never liked trading stocks. I never got into FX, but options are less efficient than stocks are. So trading with options, I can make. That's why I bought this house with that. But now you go from those markets where there's a lot more eyeballs, there's a lot more capital trying to chase gains, to over here where the eyeballs trying to chase it are like this small, and there's so many different pairs.
Usually when things are new is when the best opportunities there. Like now, like, well, for example, in Bitcoin, you had that opportunity in now Bitcoin trades more or less the same in every exchange, roughly a couple $100 difference, which is now what, like 0.5%, which I mean, or less than half a percent. But yeah, like how you're saying, like with brand new things, like what you're doing now with Hex, Hedron, with Maxi, there's opportunity there. So I mean, for people who like to arbitrage at the end of the day and they have a lot of liquid capital that they can deploy, they could do it. They have that opportunity is available. And the best part is that it's available on ETH, where you have liquidity. It's very transparent.
And then think about what happens, like literally what you just said, on new things. What is about to launch, right? Like, you're gonna have copies of every fucking PRC. This is gonna be like a gold mine, just waiting to happen.
Damn, but we gotta narrow.
That's why I think every smart Hexican is really just chilling for the first week, looking at the market, seeing how everything is going to play out, because we just don't know. And as much as we all love an answer as to be like, what are you going to do? I think the smartest thing to do would maybe just not do anything at all. Just really sit on your hands and just look at everyone else do that, I think.
And that's what I do.
If you see PLS price drip 80%, buy that shit. I mean, that's fucking.
That's a lot of what the Hexicans do. Sam kind of went to school to like study shit like this. So Sam will Sam. I don't personally like spending the time to look at the shit too much. That's just me. I would rather do something else in my free time. Everyone has time to do things. Sam loves looking at ratios and stuff. So it's just the way it is, guys. Everyone's different. If you want us to come up here and say we're 100% staked and we're not doing anything, then you could suck my balls, because that is not true. And that is not how it's going to look for me. I'm going to do all sorts of stuff. I don't even need money. Like, I don't like, to me, like, yes, in the future. And of course, I've thought about the future plenty and I've set things aside where I needed to. But like in the present moment, like I put myself in this position where I almost need nothing. And I love it. Like, the quality of life wise has been amazing. I've been eating like a king, making all my own food. I can walk. There's a farmer's market every Sunday. I can walk there. My gym's 15 minutes away. That's the only place I really drive. Because why do I go to this gym? Because there's 200,000 people that go there. And it's $150 a month. And I basically get all my social time in there. I can do computer time in there. I shave and shower there, and I mean, I have a shower.
Dude, my gym is the shit. Like, they have a cold plunge, hot tub, fucking. They have shampoo, razors, everything. So it's kind of like also I'm removing some of my costs from my day to day just by going to the gym regardless. So I feel you on that too because they got everything. I haven't bought razors in a very long time. Just want to make that
on that point though. Like I used to go to like a LA type. It was East Sport, like it's right by my house, and it's like $20 a month. And I switched to the gym that's fractionally closer, but it's $50 a month, and the clientele there. Like there's not like an Equinox type of a gym where I'm at right now, or I have to drive 40 minutes away. I'm not willing to do that. But the clientele you're around and the people you're around is just I enjoy it. It's awesome,
better, bro.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I recommend everyone gets around better quality people and just go make new friends, bro. If your friends aren't doing much and they're not like focused on the things you want to focus on, like you got to leave your friends. Like I had a group of friends when I first started like getting into network marketing that just wanted to fucking party all day, drink all day, do bullshit all day. I wanted to do the opposite. And I stopped talking to my boys, which are my boys today. Like I talk to them more than ever than I did a few years ago. But there was a season of separation that needed to happen for me to be able to go out, grow, and then I can come back, and I can be a better version of myself around everybody. So, I mean, don't be afraid to do that ever. Well, clearly we're talking about it because we've all done it, but I recommend it. I mean, honestly, this is just an encouragement for you guys out there that are still on the fence of doing something. Like if you still haven't decided, like, just go do it. Stop waiting for something to motivate you. Like discipline is a decision. You feel me? That's the thing about discipline. Discipline is an internal decision you got to make with yourself. If you can make that decision today, even better. What are you waiting for?
Because what do you have to lose? No one gives a F. If I drop dead, yes, my family would be devastated. Yes, a few people would care, but it would be over. And my life would have just been wrapped up and I would have died on my cross personally because I'm living a life and I stand up for everything that I believe in personally. But I was very afraid at a young age that I would get in some accident and I would have never standed up for what I believed in before that. You know what I mean? So I've watched people go through this life and they wouldn't die for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing that they would die for. No purpose. They would just wiggle like a worm and wherever they go, instead of stand up and say, you know what, I'm drawing the line now.
And my brother, that's deeper than money. That's deeper than fucking, physical things. Like it's deeper than all that shit. Like
that's why we're in this problem in the world right now. Because there's not enough people doing exactly.
I mean, let's be honest. Look, I'm not gonna shit on the whole OnlyFans movement. We were talking a little bit about it like before, but like think about how many women, you feel me, or just men, because there's men in that industry too, are doing something maybe they don't feel comfortable with doing just for the money. You feel me? Just for the fucking money. And I'm talking like there's
Skid Row in LA. Go to Skid Row in LA. They do the same thing.
Yeah, you feel me? Like now, mind you, but it's just like. People are doing some crazy shit, and hey, more power to them. If you want to go, show your ass, whatever, do whatever you want, fuck on a video and show it to people. Like, that's on you. But man, like, let's be honest. Like, you're doing things that maybe aren't leaning toward your purpose. You feel me? They're really taking away from that. And you're focused on the what? On the money, the green.
Yeah,
you feel me? That's what you're focused on.
That's not fun. That's just like
it's not. It's not, bro. Like you don't make decisions like you did. Leaving your job. If it wasn't about things,
fun ass job, by the way, amazing job. I mean, like my job was probably 1 in a million as far as like nobody talked to me. I could do my own shit. It was basically all just me, and it was flexible, but there was so much entrepreneurial kinetic energy within this space, and I just couldn't. It was tearing me apart that I couldn't be a part of it. Because I was really focused. I had to focus at work. I had clients. It was like my name was out there, like, the whole deal. Like I had to focus up. People would be on Google reviews, like wrecking my shit. Like I had to be like locked in 24/7. You know what I mean? Because it's competitive in that field that I was in as well. But anyway, I wanted to mention a couple things. We're going to wrap up in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I want to say, Sam, I want you to say this real quick. We did an AMA for the Crypto Fitness Challenge in the Telegram group. There's like 200 people in the Telegram group. Every Monday at 6 p.m., me and Sam go on there for an hour. We did it last night, and we answer everyone's specific questions. It can be as any kind of question. It can be any kind of inappropriate, appropriate. It doesn't matter. We're in there. We know everything. So if you want to go in there, ask questions on Monday, we'll be there. I want to show the promo video real quick for the people that haven't seen it. Sign up is done. Boom. You can go into Sam's DMs and beg him for something. Just don't go into mine. I'm done.
You can hold. Let me. Can I show you something real quick? Just
Sure.
so we have this fitness challenge going on where you can win about 16. Well, now it's I think about closer to $18,000 worth of packs. And what we have, I'm not able to win that. Like I've tried to get GRC to let me get in and beat you guys at this contest because it would be so easy for me to win, but they don't want me to. So
you're sponsoring, your supplement company sponsors the whole thing, so it's very conflict of interest for you to win.
I am actually having a contest with Motley on Twitter. And I need your help because that's the only way I could win. This is if you guys feel like you're getting value and you want to help. If I beat Motley in terms of the total number of followers by July 30th, that's the end of the 90 days, he's got 14,300 plus followers. I'm at 2,500. So if you feel that you're getting value and you want to help, jump over to Twitter. There's a link down below. Jump over to Twitter, press the follow button. I actually made a post about this. Retweet that. Get it out there. We want to bring more value.
You're talking to people that follow Motley.
Listen, it's okay. It's
Stop following Motley. Unfollow Motley.
Sam, show your Twitter, and on top of that, let's show our sponsors. Sam is one of them. Triggered. If you go to cryptofitnesschallenge.com, click on the Trigger logo. He has a lot of great products for the people who are in the Crypto Fitness Challenge. I know he don't want to shill it, but I'm going to shill it. Go support our sponsors. Go support all our sponsors. Shield Masters, Triggered, Motley, Hex Merch, Marco the Hexican, and JPEG Junkies, which is AKA Steak and Apes.
Yes.
Which also, I actually have a live stream. Thank you, Bush, for jumping in here and clarifying that and saying that. Thanks for the support by Optimal Timeline and Fashion Coder. Appreciate you guys. We have I completely forgot where I was going with the fitness challenge, but it has been a ton of fun going through the AMA. The AMA, yes. The AMA is, I like helping people. Like, I'm good. I'm happy as fuck. Like, I don't need anything from anybody else. I know where I'm going, and I enjoy just life, right? It's just fun for me. And interacting with people last night while we were doing our AMA, I got the sense that it was emotional, but like I could feel that inside of me. I wasn't like you expressed outside, but I sensed it when there was a couple people talking, and I was like, "Oh man, this is going to be impactful because we truly are coming from a good spot and want to help people, right?" And I know that at some point, maybe in a future AMA, like I'll be telling a story and I might get emotional through this process. I could feel that last night, so. I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated and supported. Like I know I saw Fashion Coder share on Instagram. There was also David in the chat. There's been several other people. I don't remember your names off the top of my head, but those are two people that I did remember right away. Thank you for the support. We appreciate that. We're doing this for free just because we want to help people. So hopefully a lot of people can build some really amazing habits in their life to start improving their health and taking those actions to really start getting the results that they want. Also want to thank Kevin. Like, dude, you're awesome. Like, I'm excited for your future and like what you build, what you want to accomplish, because you've got a good head on your shoulders and intelligent, thoughtful. Like you're in a really good spot, man. I appreciate you coming on here. Like this is, you guys can, you have a YouTube channel. You want to like show your YouTube channel or Twitter real quick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm first time using this, so I'm just going to see share screen. How does this work?
Yep. Just make sure you don't pull up anything that could potentially show anyone.
Take us all down. Yeah, no problem.
Or just like, oh, your bank account statement or anything.
I got you. I actually got to fuck with my system preferences real quick. Let me just kind of get this going real quick.
Yeah, take your time, man. We got your Twitter. His YouTube is linked on both channels, Sam's and mine, at the bottom. So if you see right there, click that.
Yeah, if you could actually do it for me, bro, I'd appreciate it because I have to close it down and then open it back up. But yeah, I mean, my YouTube is Progress with Puello, so it's the full Progress with Puello. Thanks for that, bro. And then my Twitter is Progress W Puello. I'm looking to get the app Puello. So if anybody can just get me the app Puello, help me with that. That'd be phenomenal. But nothing crazy. But yeah, I just pretty much post there. I post some live streams every once in a while, some videos from back in the day, stuff like that, videos that I used to drop. And honestly, I just post whenever I have something to say. I don't really ever talk too much. It's just kind of like whenever I get invited on and whenever I want to talk about something, I post. And then last but not least, if you guys go to puello.pro, it'll redirect you to a website called cashflowamigos.com. Pretty much that's like my kind of like my mentorship program, or where I just specifically work with like a small group of individuals. Essentially what I'm building is it's a small community. It's a small group of just high net worth individuals, people with like really good amount of financial energy, people who want to have that ideally, and just focusing on growth, whether it's through trading, of course spiritually. I teach a lot of the things that I've been able to get as well. So it's kind of like just that community feel. It's all built on Discord. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. And also thank you guys for just inviting me on today, being able to share some thoughts, man, and just talk it up a bit, bro. I usually just chill here by myself. I watch Netflix, or I do whatever. You feel me? I'm in my crib. I know I got someone asking me about the Bitcoin sign. Like I want to mention that real quick. So this was actually made for me by a friend of mine who I used to work with, and he's an artist. If you want to check out his stuff, it's 720 Art Studio. But it's actually how do you say it? It's augmented reality, right? So if I put a camera on it, like a specific app, it'll actually show something. It'll like project, and you'll see it through your phone. So it's really cool. Like it's a really cool piece. It's an NFT too. So I mean, it's dope. Like the guy, he made it for me because it was really in homage to just the first thing that kind of got me into the industry, which is why I have it up, because it wasn't Hex that I found out about first. It was actually Bitcoin, and if it wasn't for Bitcoin, I don't think any of us would be here. Period. So it's kind of more of an homage to that. I do have my Hex stuff, around, but yeah, that's just one up that I have that was made for me by a special friend. And yeah, so I know someone asked me about it. I don't know if they're here, but yeah, that's that. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate your time.
Sweet. Awesome. You want to get a flex on, and then we'll end it with the fitness challenge promo video. Let's go. Okay, go ahead and share that video here.
All right, guys, make sure you check this. Hit the like, guys. Subscribe. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'm here every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. When Pulse Chain comes out, this is going to be the place to go to get your everyday updates, so you make sure you don't get robbed and scammed. And we can tell you those best ARB opportunities that I won't be participating in, but certainly Sam will. Guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Check out this promo video, but do not DM me to sign up, because you cannot sign up anymore. Maybe next time. Losers!